but I feel like they're really going to have to step it up a notch if they want to deal with Nero and Eli. And Valmaster might meet his match here in Heartless. We've seen a lot of great play from these guys in the past. Excited to get this one underway. Best of 3 finals. Who's going to be taking it? Virtue or HTC? Let's see what they're going to do right away. Not going to see that chokehold, of course. Pretty typical for a finals when they get to this level of play here. It's going to play this very close to the point itself. See what kind of an approach we're going to get, as we do see Valmaster already moving on to the point here, moving as a unit. Josiah trying to lay the damage into Heartless, who's pretty low. Has to get to safety, but he's going to be followed up with a dive from Valmaster up top along with Yoji. A terrific start, but they get a little too greedy here. In the back, it's Nero, able to rack up a kill for himself. Pretty even on the point. The offense going to have the advantage in terms of spawn, but they are lacking APOC here with the Zenyatta. Does he make it back in time to make a difference? It doesn't look like so.
I mean, great initial play from HTC to jump in onto that high ground and lay down the pressure. Valmaster getting credit, but it was all 3 of those guys jumping up. Ezire, Valmaster, as well as Yoji, who just basically instant someone there. But still, though, the Diva play going in favor of Kraken Laken. Just a little bit more support, as we saw the rest of those guys, Valmaster in particular, going a little bit too far with Ezire into the backline. Not going to have that same extra help from the support players, and they just dying off. But now another opportunity. Ezire getting quite low. Eli with that ultimate already pulling it out here. Attack Visor is going through.
The late Transcendence from Hakume, not able to keep Heartless alive. There was too much pressure being laid into him by Josiah and Ezire. Now he has a Dragon Blade, but a late kill comes out onto APOC, meaning they should be in a decent position to not even need to use... Oh no, he drops out the Dragon Blade, but Ezire not in a good position, way too low to be able to use that one at that point in time. Both tanks are still on the point, but I just don't see it happening. There are 4 people in the back for the side of the defense here, but it looks like HTC are going to continue to aggress. Josiah back in the mix right now. He's trying really hard to get Kraken Laken out of the mech, but he's going to be forced to get to safety if Nero doesn't follow through with this kill.
Really, really good stuff from Virtue so far. They were basically forced to relinquish 2 points here. And, you know, now, I don't know. It definitely feels like they're going to be able to hold on for a little while, take some more time off the clock. But I think ultimately we will see HTC able to take this. Eli now getting close to that 70% mark. Needs to get his ultimate up. They're just going to jump in onto that high ground. Self-destruct coming out as Ezire forced back. Kraken Laken doing a great job of making sure that Eli stays alive here. But can he do it for much longer?
Really have much to work with on the defensive side other than Heartless keeping himself alive this time. He's not the first to drop, but Eli is now out of the mix. That's going to make it a little bit easier, I think, on Ezire and Josiah. Pulse Bomb comes through. Nero hits the payload, but Death Engine just a little too close for comfort. He will be dropped in the end. The defense, they've got the numbers. They've got both supports still alive, which is the most important thing here. And now Kraken Laken gets back into the mech. Despite that, it looks like Yoji, yes, just going to have to drop off the map. We're down to 60 seconds, but they do have 2 ticks on the board here.
So yeah, those 2 ticks, as mentioned earlier, I mean, that's going to definitely mean a lot for them. They just have to get that clean wipe one time. They don't have to worry about people feeding back in more than likely, depending on the fight, though. Hakume sitting here with that Transcendence. That's going to be big. They're going to definitely need that in this one. And given the duration of time, as it gets a little bit closer to the end here, that's going to have even more value. It's looking like it's going to be pulled out right here, and it is indeed.
It's just a good... It's the best possible situation, I think, there for the offense to be able to force that out just to a Primal Rage. And the fact that Eli's not really able to find a good vantage point here for the Tactical Visor is good as well for HTC, who are so close to capturing this one. 90, they get it! They're forced off the payload thanks to the self-destruct from Yoji. A Dragon Blade from Ezire is able to ensure a capture here, so they buy themselves 2:30 on the clock. And now they've got a little bit of breathing room, but honestly, on Eichenwald, 2:30 for the second objective is not much time to work with.
I mean, the big thing there with that last fight, Hakume, was basically everything that they were riding on to make sure that they stayed alive, and Valmaster completely shut that down. Incredible play from him. I mean, I would say that point is entirely due to Valmaster's play with the Primal Rage, just knocking that Transcendence around, and they got no value out of it at all.
They're going to play pretty close to the spawn here, trying to make sure they can ride out as much time as possible. They're going to force out a Transcendence as well. I don't know about that one from APOC. I don't feel like it was necessary. I feel like that one was off the back of Heartless with the Primal Rage, but he wasn't even on APOC. So another ultimate they're not going to have moving toward the final stretch. as they still need to turn a corner here, but we'll see what they're able to make of this one for the side of Hakume. He still has his Transcendence to work with. Can Josiah open up with the Pulse Bomb kill? It's going to be Heartless into the back. He doesn't have support, though. He's going to be dropped again. Heartless opens up the fight as the first one to die.
And self-destruct going up, not going to find anything, and they're still looking to hold on. Great defense so far from Virtue, but they still need to find this kill onto APOC here, and that's going to be Hakume forced to pull out this Transcendence. This time, Master not going to be able to actually rip him a new one when he pulls that out, but that's going to be Josiah coming through and making sure that they drop him right after that Transcendence comes down.
Man, this is a little rough here for the tanks, I feel, for the side of Virtue. Heartless, I keep talking about how he's the first one to drop, but he's in the back line, man. He's in the thick of the fight, but he has no one there. Kraken Lacken, either that's miscommunication or Heartless just making too aggressive of a play, not knowing that his diva isn't in the area and doesn't have the support of something like a Sound Barrier or a Transcendence from Hakume. But still, they have an opportunity to make a stand here with 40 seconds to go. I think they might force them back as long as Eli can keep himself alive. Gonna be okay. They get a big D-Mech onto Yoji. Yoji gonna be forced to drop off the edge. And now 30 seconds to go. One final engagement is their only opportunity here, X.
And now Kraken Lacken going up top, has that self-destruct ready. And Moth, of course, holding onto that Sound Barrier. That's big stuff for them. They're going to need that. If Hakume can stay alive in this Sound Barrier, then that's going to be huge because they're going to be able to get that Transcendence back up. They're going to have both support ults in this next fight, and that could be very well be rather the last fight here of the defensive side if they're able to lock this one down.
They're going to move in from the castle side. We'll see if they're going to go for the high ground. The Dragon Blade's out from Izire. Do they contest? No, they don't even get to the payload. Death Engine wasn't there in time. The controller skills just not enough here. Oh, man. Oh, boy. That's not what you want to see. Get your C9s up in chat, guys. This is... Ooh, because they had a Dragon Blade out there. They were in a great position.
Well, not only that, but looking back at that last fight, the one kill that they wanted to get early on was going to be Moth, and guess who they got? They got Moth. So that feels bad. I mean, if he had that a little bit, if that quicker response time of the mouse, maybe would have got Death Engine there a little bit faster. But of course, since he's playing with a PS2 controller, as I'm told, of course, with my my intel that's coming through, and I definitely value
you know
it.
how
I think
play,
it's
Lucio? I roller skate on the ground, man.
Yeah.
I picked up my roller skate skills.
Death Engine playing on that HTC Vive right now, just coming through, just trying to be the Lucio, be the roller skates, but just
Channel
again,
your inner Lucio.
not going to be enough yet. I mean, I think the mouse would have got him there, maybe. I don't know. Hard to say.
That's... I want to say, what do you do? But I know what you do. You get someone on the payload, man. You had a Primal Rage win. I'm not even going to talk about that one. That's just a little unfortunate there for the side of
Pick
HTC.
on the Moth. You've got Izire bladed up. You've got everything you want. I mean, Hakume is just prime and ready for the reaping. I mean, you just completely take that man out as well, and they have no supports. I mean, free fight to be able to move on into that next stage of the map. But again, a little unfortunate. Just a little bit too much. What I'm trying to think of another. A little bit too much Oculus Rift. There we go.
Have you tried those? The Vive and the Oculus Rift?
Yeah,
Oculus Rift. They're pretty fun, man.
They're pretty fun. Yeah,
they definitely are. But let's take a look at what we have from Virtue, looking to make their mark, go up 1-0 in the set here. And they're riding off some momentum off of that here. So they have to be feeling pretty good because they were not in a good position to be able to hold their ground at that second checkpoint. So Eli now on the Tracer as opposed to Nero's Tracer. Nero on the Genji, something we have definitely seen in the past. Looking to match what Izire can do here as they look to move on to the point already. Heartless getting pretty aggressive. Gonna drop down, knowing that Kraken Lacken kind of wasn't with him. A good move because something that they kind of struggle with on the defensive end, but losing a support early on is not the way to go out for your first team fight from the side of Virtue, but they match it with one of their own. They get a D-Mech as well. Nero has an opportunity to find the supports in the back. Can he do it, Heroes?
Well, Nero right now getting close to that blade. Needs to stay alive, though. Supports need to get some support over to this, man. Eli coming through in the meantime, and they're still going to be able to clutch this one out. Nero swift striking all over the place, and they easily get control. 5:30 on the clock here, Storm, and they're surging forward with that blade from Nero ready to go already.
Easy cleanup crew from those guys. Pulse bombs out from Eli. Not going to find anything there as he was looking for Josiah, I believe, but we'll see if Desire can get his Dragon Blade up to match Nero, because this is going to be a battle of knowing that Virtue has a slight upper hand in terms of ultimates. What can they make of this? Can they force them out and maybe force it to the bridge fight? I don't know. We're going to see what we have here is Josiah looking for an opportunity to move in. Do they want to pop the Dragon Blade? Yes, it's going to come out here from the side of Nero, looking to get onto him, but a Transcendence going to negate most of that damage that would have came out. But Heartless making some waves here with a Primal Rage, getting rid of Valmaster here, and I think that's going to be a big window now for Virtue to move that payload forward.
So much pressure coming out from Eli right now. I mean, all across the board, these guys are just getting completely dunked. Josiah going to fall there as well, and they are again surging forward. Hakume doing a great job on that last one. Very, very close now as he's getting some heals into Heartless to actually getting that Transcendence online. Should have it for that next fight, and that's going to be big because they're going to have both options available as opposed to APOC and Death Engine, who are sitting less than 16% right now.
They're going to take that high ground approach, maybe look for a pick if they can, as they are going to have Valmaster dropping into the back. There's going to be a Transcendence out here from the side of Hakume, keeping them decently healthy in the fight. Desire though unsheets the blade, but no, he's taken down as the beat is dropping from Moth here, and they're going to be able to hold on quite nicely here. That was not the greatest play from Desire, unfortunately, not in a great spot. He's going to move over to a Doomfist now here, but the kills are coming through from the side of Virtue. They get the DMAC. They don't need to use anything else. They don't have anything else at this point here, but it looks like they should be able to secure this one unless somehow, some way, Desire is able to make it back in time. They should be able to contest, but I just don't think it's going to be enough as Josiah tries to do his best. They've got Desire on the point. There's a Dragon Blade now out from the side of Nero. He's going to rack up the kills for his team. It should be it. They just need to take care of the Winston here, and that should secure the checkpoint here for the side of the offense.
The last hope was Desire coming through, getting a one punch, and then just taking down Hakume, getting 2 kills off the bat. Didn't get either of those, and now we're going to be seeing Virtue up 1-0, and certainly looking poised to take this final, as, you know, obviously Prestige Worldwide, now Rocket Esports, isn't in the picture.
Eli with that play of the game. I was really, I was actually pretty impressed with Eli's Tracer, given the fact that Nero was the one that had originally played it. But like you had mentioned, after that first checkpoint was captured, the amount of pressure he was actually able to put onto those guys was immense, racking up that 63% kill participation, and now moving to Lijiang Tower here, a different game mode, which means, you know, maybe HTC can bounce back here. Maybe they can do it here. So we'll see what they're going to be bringing to the table. Anything in particular you'd like to see from them?
Ooh, it's tough to say. I mean, going into this next map here, if we, you know, look back at it, I think it's Lijiang Tower, like you said. So I don't know, because it feels like in all respects, Virtue is the better team fighting team. I mean, you have on all fronts just so much pressure. We saw in a couple times in that last map there on Eichenwald where, you know, fights got a little scrappy and Virtue came away with a lot. I mean, we saw them winning fights with everybody still alive. You know, some cases they pull away with 5, but still very handily taking care of HTC. And I think it's going to look much the same. I think HTC is going to look better on this map than the last one, but I still think that we're going to be seeing a 2-0 coming out from Virtue here.
I really would have loved to see what that match would have been if HTC hadn't stepped off the payload. I mean, granted, Virtue had like 5 to 6 minutes, I believe, after that first checkpoint capture here to actually move the payload to the second checkpoint. They would have had a significant more amount of time, but even so, you really don't know what would have happened in the final stage of Eichenwald, because that can be a very difficult point to actually capture. So with that in mind, Virtue still hold the 1-0 lead. This is a best of 3 on Lijiang Tower here, and it looks like we are going to be headed to Garden here. We'll see if this Far Mercy is going to come out from the side of HTC, or maybe we're just going to see it from Virtue here.
It looks like people worrying. The stream, guys, the stream is only 1 minute behind. Come on, let's think about this for a moment. How could the second game? They were worried. I think the bracket for some reason is showing that someone won already. But
well, that's because the team forgot to check in. That's their own fault.
that's their own fault. See,
That's their
exactly.
own fault for
Don't
not
believe the
checking in.
bracket
Anyhow.
because teams are kind of dumb sometimes.
Yeah, that's their own fault for not checking in the match. Anyhow, Hurex, we are going to have the Far Mercy coming out here from the side of Virtue. As for the red HTC, they're going to be sporting what they ran before, and honestly, there's not a whole lot to really deal with Nero here other than APOC and Yoji, and immediately APOC was the first to fall, and this should be an easy cleanup. Yoji in the area is going to be demech, should be able to get that kill credit as well. An easy first capture coming out for the blue side.
That's going to allot them a little extra time as well on the clock, so not going to have to worry about it as much. Nero going to be pretty close to Barrage here, but really the big thing you want to look at is Hakume. Before, he was an absolute, he was a monster. Like, let's be real, he was insane on that Zenyatta. But he's going to be back on the Mercy here, and he's gotten that charge up very quickly. Eli looking for that pulse bomb action. Has a nice opportunity here, but not going to even require it as Yoji already out of mech. Sent off the side as well, and they are racking up the kills again here, Storm.
Oh, this is just brutal, man. This is brutal. This is basically what we saw in Eichenwald offense for these guys. With did you say you thought this was going to be a little closer? I mean,
well,
what's with that, man?
you know how it is with NA predictions. You've been watching Contenders.
Yeah, man.
It's tough, man.
Oh,
it's tough.
Damn.
It's tough. I'm not knocking them at all. It's tough, man.
It is.
It's hard out here.
Anyhow, they've got something to work with, though, here. They've got a Dragon Blade, but no, the boop comes out. No, not quite able to get it. Barrage up top. Nero looking for one. Gets two. Gets both supports out of the fight. And, you know, I'm kind of scratching my head because Yoji was right beside him. Didn't have the defense matrix for the Farah Barrage, and that should be another team fight going in favor of Virtue. And they're just delaying the inevitable. I mean, a Dragon Blade comes through from Desire, but what did he hope to get from that into a sound barrier and with no supports at his back?
Someone get the mop and bucket for my boy Ezire. He's forcing himself over to Soldier because he just got planted into the side of that wall by Nero, who just flicked him in midair. Was a little close, kind of shotgunned him a little bit, but nonetheless it was a little bit debilitating, I think, and maybe is a big reason why Ezire has made this swap over to Soldier. Can they make it work, though? They are not exactly out in the open where Soldier's going to have that really good angle for it, but nonetheless, they are starting off with 2 kills. Hakume going to pull him back up, though.
A great flank from Josiah comes in, but like you had mentioned, all of that negated by the Mercy. Not going to be seeing that for too much longer when that patch hits. But Hurex, it's Nero. It's been the show for Nero and Eli, easily cleaning this one up. Maybe the swap to 76, too little, too late, as there was really no threat for him whatsoever. Controlled the skies entirely, Hurex. And now they are 1 round away from securing an AG World Championship, man.
World Championship. The best in the world and NA and tier 2, 3, whatever you want to call this.
It's like they say in the NFL. I mean, when you win the Super Bowl, you're world champions. Or do they say that in basketball? I don't remember. They say they're world champions.
It's football
like,
for sure, yeah.
It's like
champions
you're
of the
champions world, of the United States, man. You're not world champions. Like,
yeah, because it's not even North America, right? There's no Canadian teams like you would see in like the NHL or anything like that. It is completely United States and continental United States at that, because there's no Alaskan or Hawaiian team either.
Someday, dude, when I've
Bowl,
got millions, man, when I've got millions someday, I'm gonna invest in
it's not
an
just
outdoor
about the
stadium
money,
in Alaska.
No, because you gotta go through the commissioner, and you gotta go through the whole system of setting a team up. Because there was back in 2012 they tried to set up a team in, where was it? New Mexico, I want to say, and it just it did not work because they were just like, yeah, you don't have the people in this city to actually get the ticket sales. And in Alaska, there's no way. Alaska, whoever plays in Alaska is going to have a huge home field advantage, man. Huge.
There's no way if Roger Godel, or whatever his name is, it's Godel, right? I think it is.
Godel?
It is still the commissioner. So just saying. But it looks like we do have Yoji needing to restart here. So that is why we are paused, guys. Shouldn't be too much longer. For those of you just joining us, we are in the finals of the AG Weekly number 68. We've got a 1-0 lead for Virtue up against HTC, and they have a 1-0 lead here on the Zhang Tower. A single round for them will secure the tournament victory and give them, their first victory in AG in quite some time, I believe.
All right, we're finally ready. We can jump in here. Virtue, again, yeah, the fact that this is best of 3 means that this, I think, is going to be the graveyard in which we see HTC make their final rest. I think Virtue's going to be able to close this one out. Nero back on the Pharah. Izire at least here is going to be on the Soldier already. They have APOC actually on the Zenyatta. So they have that trifecta with Yoji as well coming into the mix to try to deal with Nero. But I think he's going to be coming around that backside, and he is indeed. And just laying in, has the ability to just kind of punch a bunch of damage into those kind of doorways onto the main point. And I don't know. They have to find a way to get into space. They absolutely have to find a way.
Well, thankfully this time around, Izire will be making, like you had mentioned, the change before the Pharah is able to wreak havoc onto them here. But regardless, Heartless, again, a little too aggressive. That's what kind of nicked them in the butt there on Eichenwald, but they still made the most of it because of Eli and Nero coming up big. And they're going to, again, secure the first checkpoint, the first points on the board here, only losing out on Heartless. And even so, he's already sitting at 40% on his ultimate, and he really wasn't even that much of a part of that fight there.
Nero just absolutely dishing out the pressure alongside Eli around the flank as well. And these two guys have been so hard to deal with for HTC, and it seems like it's really kind of fallen onto Yoji to try to do that, and it's so hard given all the angles, and Eli already with a double.
Oh man, that's what do you do, man? You pull back, Yoji. Yeah, I mean, what do? You simply avoid the pull spawn. It's
what
as
you
easy
do
as that.
Is you get in here and you try to make Eli move to Florida. And
oh man, that's not nice.
Get the internet turned off, force it to be a 6v5, and then maybe you got a shot. Maybe.
All right, they're moving in. Izire now out here with the Doomfist. The Doomfist into the Pharah. Okay, interesting. But again, it's the Nero feed, man. We don't call that. It's not called the kill feed anymore. It's Nero's feed. As he again lights it up, 55% and counting. They did lose Heartless off the map there, but they're still sitting on a resurrect. Both support ultimates. There is almost nothing to work with. If you are HTC, you're gonna have to hope for a big pulse bomb from Josiah if you want any chance at coming back into this.
Now we're going to be seeing Moth holding on to that sound barrier. I mean, really kind of relying on APOC here to try to make a play, but he's probably going to be forced to pop this just to save his own life. And now we're going to be seeing the sound barrier coming out. It's a great one, gets everybody.
Forcing that self-destruct on the point. Oh, he picks up the double. Oh, man, gets the double kill there. No resurrect going to be able to be used here from Hakume. Maybe an opportunity here, unless some way, somehow, Moth can pull it back for his team with the bolt, basically the boop of the century, but not going to happen here. They do manage to get the flip at about 95% here. It's basically saying one team fight will secure it for Virtue, but HTC, they've got an opportunity. They've got the Meteor Strike ready to go from Izire. What can he do with it?
And now Izire here, waiting for his opportunity, biding his time. Again, because of the fact that he's not on that soldier, they don't have anything to deal with that Nero in the sky on the Pharah, and he's getting barraged at pretty soon. Meteor Strike kind of come down. They need to find some kills off of that, but Hakume still staying alive here, under pressure, under duress, and it looks like they maybe will find that kill, and they do indeed.
Oh man, that's going to be a big one for him, but there's still an opportunity for Virtue to move in. If they want to drop this barrage from Nero, looking for an opportunity, but he's got Yoji in his face, so he really can't. He's going to drop it anyways, picks up both supports again. Oh man, Yoji not in the best spot to be able to throw up a defense matrix. Probably didn't have it really charged up. Izire going to be forced away from this one. That should do it. They don't even have a chance to contest. And Virtue take the map 2-0 and the set 2-0 Hurix, and they will be your weekly number 68 champions.
Looking very convincing in the process, and now, you know, maybe next week we'll see Rocket Esports coming back, and I'm really looking forward to that because Virtue definitely looking like the other top team right now. I mean, really making a gigantic effort to kind of surge ahead of the rest of the pack, like Prestige Worldwide did